We're here today with Corey, the most active DJ and promoter in the drum and bass scene in Montreal. Nice. So, Corey, can you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you first get into spinning records?
I started, how old was I? I think I was 16 or 17 years old. My father was a DJ in the 70s. He played disco, played like weddings, and he started a whole business based on that. So I always had like his vinyl collection in my basement, but I think around 96 I discovered drum and bass, and that kind of made me borrow a pair of turntables from my father's warehouse, brought him home, had this big mixer like with wood on the side and everything, like big mixer, not really intended for DJing, but you could plug in turntables to it. So I used that, and I played around in my bedroom for like a year or two, bought records at a store called DNA, and yeah, that's kind of how it started.
You've been playing in a party for more than 15 years now. Yeah, from what I've heard. So
I think you're right.
yeah, and how has the drum and bass scene changed since you first got involved into it, and now that we're in 2011?
Oh, it's changed a lot, especially recently in the last 2 years with dubstep and everything. It kind of, I think drum and bass got this like new life to it. It was kind of going in a lot of different directions. There's a lot of different sounds to drum and bass, like similar to dubstep now. As dubstep's kind of evolved, dubstep has like a lot of different sort of subgenres within it, you know, the deeper stuff, the angrier stuff, the more like techie tunes. In drum and bass, it's kind of the same way, you know, there's like deeper tunes, there's more minimal guys like D-Bridge, and there's more like funky stuff like on Hospital, and there's like heavier shit like on Virus, and you know, there's obviously like Ram Records and stuff, you know, like all the big labels, and they're all kind of following like sort of in tandem with like dubstep's going this way, and drum and bass is sort of like, it's sort of found it and like following along its side. It's not copying it, but it's being influenced by it, and in turn dubstep is, as usual, being influenced by drum and bass. That's, in my opinion, like how it is right now. Where it was then, I couldn't really tell you, like without getting into a really long story. You know, it started in the early 90s and evolved into what it is now. That would be a whole interview by itself, just that conversation.
And you're also the creator of The Station. It's one of the original drum and bass and dubstep events in Montreal. Can you tell us a little bit about it? When, how, and with whom did you start it?
I should correct you because I didn't start The Session. The Session started in the mid-90s. Jordan Dare, Double A, and Twist. They're like three of the original drum and bass DJs in Montreal. There's a bunch of other guys, but they're the three guys who started The Session, which was a night that kind of turned me on to drum and bass. Like when I started listening to it in the mid-90s, in like 96, I would listen to like CKUT and all these stations, and they would talk about the record stores to go to, the club nights to go to, like where you could hear the music that I was like being blown away by. And they were like, come check out The Session. It was like on a Thursday or a Wednesday. I forget when exactly I started going because it's a little blurry, you know. But they started that as a weekly in the mid-90s, and it had a huge influence on me, you know, and I'm playing with Jordan tonight, you know, like he's still into it. They stopped doing session nights, I can't remember when, probably in the early to mid-2000s. Double A moved away, Twist moved away. Jordan has been pretty active in like electro, techno, and like a lot of other side projects. He's got the Class thing going on right now. So drum and bass kind of took a back seat for him, but like he's still like a part of his thing. So we started playing together, and I was like, let's bring back the name. And I was working with Mayday also, and she was like, let's bring back the name. I was like, okay, let's do it. And we started a weekly, kind of short-lived. I started doing some special events, I think it was 2 years ago, and we brought the logo back, sort of updated the logo, and that's the rest is history. Now we're doing shows all the time.
Yeah. And with producer typically occupying the spotlight and the modern scene, can you tell us a bit about how you you're promoting yourself as a DJ?
I'm not really promoting myself as a DJ. I think I'm more like promoting the brand, like, of the session, like, and for me that's really just a vessel to promote drum and bass. Because for me, especially with like dubstep getting as big as it is, like, and me partnering with a lot of the dubstep promoters in Montreal and other promoters too, it's really just for me like another way for me to get this music that I like heard by people who wouldn't normally check it out. You know, it's changed a lot from people not knowing what drum and bass was to, like, I'm talking about the younger kids who are like at the club tonight who've never heard of it, or they have heard of it but they think it's something that like came after dubstep, you know. But like to me it's cool as long as they're into it. Like, you know, they don't necessarily have to know the history. If they do, that's great. You know, I'm happy to like answer questions like these, you know, like for people who really want to know.
And in the past few years, you've been playing with some of the biggest drum and bass artists on the planet, like Dirty Phonics, DJ Hype, Goldie, Diesel Boy, Original Sins, just to name a few. So what was the best moment of your career so far?
Oh, easily booking Goldie was a lot of really cool things sort of came into alignment for that event to happen. Just getting hooked up with Goldie was thanks to a really wicked drum and bass DJ named Bailey, who I'd booked the month before, who linked me up with him. And so that worked out. He connected me with him, and then he would happen to be visiting Montreal with his wife, who's from Montreal. So he's visiting his in-laws. And so we worked out a good deal. So, you know, he was in town for like a week. We picked a day and it worked out. I got the venue through a friend of a friend who was at Cabaret, which is now closed, but amazing venue. And I got it for pretty cheap. And I got a whole bunch of lighting for next to nothing, thanks to sort of sponsorship for the company I work for. And yeah, it ended up being one of the best parties I think I ever got to be. I'm lucky enough to be involved in. It was a great show. But I owe a lot to a lot of like it was not just the session that did that. It was like every friend I ever had. Like I called in every favor, you know. Like it was I was really fortunate to be able to be a part of it.
What are your favorite developing trends in music for 2011?
My favorite developing trends, I say bass music. Bass music being looked at as not just like dubstep, drum and bass, drum step, moombaton, like whatever you want to call it. Like people just starting to appreciate bass music for what it is. Like good music is good music, and if it's heavy and they like it, like they're gonna be into it, you know, and they don't care what genre it fits in, you know. Everybody I know who plays dubstep doesn't play 1 hour of dubstep anymore, you know, and the kids notice it, you know, the kids are into it. So I think if I had to say one thing, it'd be that. Bass music, that's the trend.
Do you have any advice for a younger DJ?
Advice for younger DJs. If you're gonna play MP3s, it's cool, just make sure they're high quality. Make sure you're getting like 320 or wave. No 192. 192 sucks. What else? Practice, practice, practice.
Are there any shoutouts you would like to make while?
Shoutouts?
Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot of people. Hi everyone. Hey. I really don't know who. Dub Machine, Neon, Buddha Slinky. I'm just naming crews. Big Tooth and SJU, and I'm forgetting like a million people. Vilify, Construct, Mayday, Jordan, all the bass DJs in the city, all my friends, and yeah, these guys. MontrealDrum'n'Bass.com.
So well, thank you, man, for having us today, and
thank you.
It was good to meet you, man.
Cheers. Thanks.